Let's do it. Hello, all you little demons. Jules here for WhatCulture.com, back again with another episode of the awesomely named and awfully hosted Choose Your Own Adventure, the weekly medieval-themed format where I, the crown Jules of WhatCulture.com, take a list chosen by you, yes, you, the person who went to go and see Garth Marenghi the other week and has only just remembered how funny it was to have a 5-minute protracted conversation with somebody about D batteries. Honestly, it doesn't sound funny, but in his hands, my God. Yes, you get to decide what list I dole out to you each and every week. And this week we have none other to thank than me. Now, I know it's a bit strange, obviously, that I am commandeering this format here to talk about a list that I wrote and I chose, but there is actually a little bit of reason to my madness. You see, today we're going to be talking about video game trailers that go absolutely hard, my friend. And the reason that I'm doing this is because we are actually filming currently at the time that I'm filming this. It will be a few days ahead, but by the time this video comes out, it will be in the past. My brain. A video game style trailer for the WhatCulture Gaming channel, so look forward to that dropping on our channel very, very soon. Even though you're probably already subscribed because you're a nice person and I love you for it, just watch the video anyway because it's going to be a lot of fun indeed. Yes, that's right, I'm going up to Newcastle to film it. I get to see the guys again, yay! But anyway, let's get back on track and start talking about trailers that went hard, baby! You see, if there's one surefire way to sell first-class tickets on board the hype train, it's getting a world-class trailer in front of the unwashed gaming masses. Hey, I took offense to that. Fair point. Without showing even a shred of gameplay, you might be able to send pre-order sales through the bloody roof, or through extensive demonstration of your core mechanics, you might become an overnight talking point of the entire industry. Now, truly creating a video game trailer is in itself a fine science, as the careful balance has to be struck between showing off all of your best bits without giving too much away, and in some cases trying to hide the game entirely so that you can bamboozle all of these die-hard fans into lining your coffers. That being said, there are some video game trailers and hype packages that just say, screw it, let's break the bloody dial off and crank things up to 11 so hard that even Spinal Tap is saying that's a bit much. Whether through delivering a short film classic for the ages or giving fans everything they want and then some, these trailers laughed at the concept of moderation and in some cases, decency. So with this in mind, I'm Jules, this is WhatCulture.com, and these are 8 video game trailers that go hard. And you know the drill by now, but say hi to me here in the live chat and put your suggestions for next week's episode down in the comment section below. So let's get on with this list, shall we? I've wasted too much of your time already, let's go. Number 8, Paul Phoenix reveal trailer, Tekken 8. Now, to be honest, the very announcement that Tekken 8 was even coming out was a moment that truly went utterly hard, seeing as the fighting video game community has been licking themselves raw in anticipation for a sequel for ages. However, I can truly say, hand on heart, that nobody expected things to go this hard. And I'm not just talking about the incredible level of detail here on each fighter, or the reworked character models which show clear advancement in time, nor about the slew of new moves that eager fans have already started to factor into their new combo chains. No, instead, I'm talking about the absolute beans given to the introduction of each new combatant provided by the inimitable Lenny Hart. Seriously, the way that she screams, Paul Finn! I can't even do it. Finn! I just sound stupid. No, I can't do it. Just play the audio clip, Dan. It is otherworldly, giving so much socks to the performance that she actively blasted her own off. While at first the delivery might seem a bit out of place when compared to the gruff and serious posturing of some of the fighters, make no mistake, this is what hype, pure, unadulterated hype, sounds like. Plus, if you're poo-pooing this for not being serious enough, you just remember what type of game you're playing. You got fighting dinosaurs, robots, and pandas. Come on, mate. Number 7, Dead Island. Now, I don't think that you can create a list like this and not at least pay reference to the wonderful oddity that was the Dead Island announcement trailer. Now, while the world would come to know Dead Island as a very different beast, the trailer presented a holiday disaster for the ages that was, dare I say it, rather beautiful. Channeling the likes of 28 Weeks Later, we were delivered a short horror story focusing on a family having the holiday from hell. Yet in place of construction work, shoddy rooms, and just the general amount of British gammon heads out on tour, this had zombies instead, which is slightly worse than the gammon that I've just aforementioned there. And I tell you what, this trailer went absolutely balls to the walls with its core message, and that was, you are f***ed. When you start with the dead eyes of a child staring back at you, you know that things aren't exactly going to be rainbow rhythms, and still things somehow got even worse from here, as we were shown in rather excruciating detail the life, death, and, I guess, unlife of this youngster alongside her doomed family. It's tense and wrought with emotion far beyond the arcadey hack-and-slash elements of the actual game, and the fact that it features none of the central cast at all means that this little pocket of horror was as far removed from the final product as it possibly could have been. Number 6, Beyond Good and Evil 2. Okay, so let's just face facts, Dan. We just have to face facts that Beyond Good and Evil 2 is likely never gonna come out. Beset by countless behind-the-scenes issues and delays and being paired with a company that seems less willing than ever to try anything new, but I do hear that the ball is in their court though. Beyond Good and Evil 2 is a game that needed to drop years ago but has become a distant beacon quickly disappearing over the horizon, and with each passing moment fewer and fewer people hold on to hope, and one kind of has to wonder if the market is even there at all for this title, seeing as we're now entering a period where a sizable demographic has actual zero connection to the original. That being said, the animated trailer/hype package that dropped in 2017 for this game absolutely slapped. Everything included in this 2-minute mini-movie was delivered with care and a style reminiscent of The Fifth Element, with Hindi architecture replete with neon signs and a grubby, well-worn aesthetic that dominated the visuals. The snappy dialogue, the humour, and of course the fact that this was Beyond Good and Evil 2 was distilled hype that we were all ready to chug down. It's a shame that the details since have left us drier than a bone. Number 5, Friday the 13th, The Game, Spring Break 1984 trailer. Now, while there might have been a lot of behind-the-scenes drama, thankfully the screaming, shouting and backstabbing within the Friday the 13th game was much more enjoyable, with players able to take up the furious mantle of Jason Voorhees or one of the camp counselors looking to make it through the night at Camp Crystal Lake. Thanks to a beautiful blend of light puzzle solving, separate abilities for all of the heroes, and the undeniable joy of controlling the walking man mountain that is Jason, the game went on to receive mostly positive reviews and a rather passionate online fanbase. That being said, thanks to legal issues behind the blood-stained curtain, the game's support dropped off almost overnight, but not before we got an absolute gem of a trailer that will both make you cackle with glee and then shriek in fear. The Spring Break 1984 trailer was made to showcase a new swimsuit collection for the camp counselors, and while the lingering on butts and breasts is very much of the time, things reach a whole new level of absurdity when Chad takes the centre stage, sporting a pair of budgie smugglers that is eye-bleedingly scant. Hilariously, he poses for the rest of the group, drinking in the adoration of his colleagues, right up until a harpoon hits him square in the face, thrown with perfect aim and comic timing by Jason. The juxtaposition of light-hearted teen comedy to this blood and gore fest is brilliantly delivered and makes this trailer well worth a watch. Number 4, I Am Jesus Christ, official announcement trailer. I mean, where do you even begin with this game? I guess you could start by expressing a sense of disbelief that also tees you up to say who you're playing as in this title, which is, Jesus Christ. I mean, you're literally playing as Jesus H. Christ. That is the premise. You're not some random facsimile or pretender to the throne. You are legitimately the Son of God going around healing the sick and providing for the needy. And somehow, in spite of an industry that builds itself on improbable power fantasies, this is the most insane thing that I have seen in years. Oh, and also to add to all of this, the game looks like hot garbage. I mean, seriously, it looks absolutely abysmal. The gameplay here looks like it's just a PS2 graphic, and that bit at the end where he's floating up to see his dad and ask for a cup of tea, it doesn't look like it's saying I am Jesus Christ. It looks like it's saying T am Jesus Christ because he's bloody T-posing up there. Jeez, I mean, Jesus Christ. But let's face facts, if you're showing a straight-up crucifixion scene as a selling point in your trailer, then you know that it's going bloody hard. I mean, it's not a trailer that's going well, but it's definitely going hard. Number 3, My Friend PEDRO. Blood, bullets, and bananas. I mean, if you have a tagline that is those 3 words right there, I'm immediately intrigued about what's going on. And then when you pair this with the powerhouse that is Devolver, well, you know that you've got something special, baby. And that's without even seeing a shred of actual gameplay. Plus, if you wanted to wet your whistle even further, then just watch the launch trailer for My Friend Pedro, a sequence that likely had Gwen Stefani phoning her lawyers thanks to its outrageous is bananas vibes. Ah yes, a Gwen Stefani reference in 2023. Truly, I am a pioneer of modern cutting-edge comedy. Hand-drawn and supremely off-the-wall, My Friend Pedro is a clever example of featuring all that the actual game has to offer without actually telling you a bloody thing about it. All you see are bananas, intense firefights, and incredible trick-shot skills. There's no rhyme or reason to the events, but they are presented in such a beautiful package and to such a thumping soundtrack that you'll immediately be hooked from the get-go. It's a real positive that the game itself was such a barnstorming success, and of course featured just as many bananas as the launch trailer promised. Number 2, STRAFE. Well, this was certainly a thing. If there's one aspect of my childhood that I both miss and somewhat am glad that we've moved on from, it's the ridiculously cheesy and buzzword-laden adverts that were forced into my central nervous system between Saturday morning cartoons. Vibrant, chaotic, and mostly featuring terrible CGI that was considered cutting edge at the time, every company under the sun was looking to trick younger viewers into pestering their parents for their products. And of course, this extended to the video games of the time as well, which often utilized choppy game footage alongside a younger gamer getting their mind blown thanks to all them thar polygons. I mean, for an example, Dan, just pull up an old video game trailer here. I mean, just look at that frame rate. Oh, look at those graphics. You could cut beef on them. Cut beef, I say. Well, that is exactly the tone that the trailer of STRAFE takes, despite it being a game that was released in 2017. And boy howdy does this video get weird fast. Starting out with an older brother detailing every 90s piece of lexicon going, we then come to focus on the younger brother who desperately wants to play this sick game. This in turn leads to the poor lad having a seizure of sorts before his flesh is then melted from his very bones. And then it ends on his mother crying over her now dead son as the older brother resumes playing. At this point here, this isn't a trailer for the game, this is a short body horror film. And it goes absolutely hard, I'm totally here for it. And number 1, the CONNIE and DAKOTA sequence, Dead Rising. Now, I won't lie, the evil finger temple of doom has made its glorious return here because I'm getting a little cheeky with the entire concept of this list, with this final entry, because it's technically not a trailer that was used to advertise the game itself, in this case being Dead Rising, but it was a trailer that could only be found before you started playing the game. Confused? Well, let me explain. Because yes, on a technicality, I can justify its inclusion here. As A, it is a sequence that you can only view before the game begins, as it's only accessible by waiting on the press start screen, thereby making it a feature advertising a title you've not yet played, and B, well, because it's so bloody good and had no right being confined to this relatively obscure section of the game. Honestly, to the team that worked on this small sample of horror, I commend you, as this is so perfectly paced and fraught with tension that it arguably feels like a tonal leap apart from the often silly nature of the main game. Watching the fear overwhelm our two central leads and seeing them desperately struggle against the undead is genuinely harrowing, and thanks to the footage effectively being hidden, there's a good chance that you'll have never seen this bite-sized fright fest. Honestly, go check it out on YouTube, it is 100% worth your time, and, of course, it goes bloody hard. And there we go, my friends. Those were 8 video game trailers that go hard. I hope that you enjoyed that, and please let me know what you thought about it down in the comment section below, as well as your suggestions for next week's episode as well. And if you want to follow Dan and I on the social medias, you can follow us here at RetroJ, but the O is a 0 for me, and Dan over here as well. What a lovely sort he is. But before I go, I just want to say one thing. As we detail today, there are lots of video game trailers and things in general that go bloody hard, balls to the wall, but sometimes it can be equally as good to just take the foot off the gas and just have a little bit of a break, because you know what? It will allow you to recharge and rest, and also give you a little bit of perspective. And trust me, perspective is a very valuable tool indeed, my friends, because it will allow you to see where your energies are best spent, and more importantly, when you may need to ask for help. And trust me, there is no shame in asking for help from friends, family, or professionals in the support industry. Now go out there and smash at your big ledge, but maybe put the kettle on first and take 5. As always, I've been Jules, you have been awesome. Never forget that, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.